Welcome back, everybody, to another Dirty Knowledge podcast. I'm your host, Jericho, with HD.
And I'm Andy with GMP Property Services.
So today on this podcast, we kind of wanted to keep it a little short and sweet. Let you guys know exactly what equipment we started with. No specific reasons on like what's better and whatnot, but basically just tell you guys what we used and why or how it works for us. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of obviously manufacturers out there, but you can either learn from us and go with the same route we did or go different routes. So obviously the choice is yours. However, with that being said, you want to start it off?
Yeah, for sure. I think a good start off is knowing what dealers are around you. I think that's going to be probably the most important for both me and you here in the area. There's always going to be dealers that are able to give you help and are able to assist you with certain brands and stuff like that. But if you want a specific brand that's catering directly to you or catering more to maybe where you want to go to, you may have to do a little bit of traveling for that. So I know for me, when I first started out, you can Lowe's, Home Depot, they sell all the weed eaters, all the push mowers, everything. Yeah. So if you really wanted to, that's probably going to be your cheapest option to go there. However, you won't have any dealer support. You won't have any manufacturer warranty. Mm-hmm. You may have to take it back to the store, mail it somewhere or something like that. And at that point,
you're losing a lot of time.
Who's really going to do that?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it's more like you got to fix it yourself type of deal.
Exactly. Fix it yourself. See if you can order the part. If you're not mechanically savvy whatsoever, then now you're trying to go to your actual small engine repair, area and stuff like that or something like that, small engine repair shop. And, at the end of the day, they have mowers there. Yes, they might be a little bit more expensive, but that dealer support does really good. I know here where we're located, I have at least 2 dealers. There's quite the amount of brands, but it's definitely been something to where I'm only driving 15, 20 minutes maybe to a dealer, 30 minutes there and back, and I'm done. And we chose the Skag brand for most of the residential lots, because the small stand-on mowers.
Yeah,
in and out
inside the gates. And
here, I know further down south here where we're located, we have 32-inch gates. So that gets really, really tight, with the mower. And the best thing that we have is the Skag V-Ride 2, 32-inch mower. Fits perfectly in the gates, even, further, basically all around the Houston area, from up Willis down to Galveston. There's not a gate that you won't go through unless somehow, some way, the people that built the fence put the gate right where the AC unit's at.
Oh, yeah. So it's AC unit, door, you're trying to
Yep, and not even that.
Sometimes they are like that, though.
Yeah, sometimes they are.
Sometimes they're on the backside of it, and you
It's been so bad to where sometimes we have to pick up the push mower over the AC unit just to get it to the backyard.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. So that's been a big one for us. Being able to choose that, specific brand that's here close to us, that caters to us, to where we can say, hey, we popped a belt, we did something, let me go over there, let me try to get, something that the part that I need, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Some dealers or even help you, in installing the parts. Hey, jump ahead of line from everybody, and you're able to, get in and out within an hour, 2 hours. And I think that's what I've liked most about the dealers that we have here in the area. But other than that, choosing what you're going to do. Are you starting residential or are you starting commercial? That's really going to depict the size, in my case, the size of mowers that you're going to get. Or are you going to start off with the push mower that you can potentially buy from Home Depot?
Right.
Or are you going to start off with,
a zero turn or something?
Exactly.
For commercial sites.
So I think that's been a major one for me. What are your thoughts? What do you think?
Well, I was going to ask you, was there any specific reason why you chose Skag over some of the other dealers?
Yes. The 2 main reasons. One reason is everything is manufactured in the U.S. They don't use any out of seas, or what do they call it?
Overseas.
Overseas. There.
Out of the seas.
Out of the seas.
That's crazy.
They don't use any any overseas parts. So everything that they get here is manufactured within the U.S. And that's one thing that I like, because
U.S. made.
I had
U.S. grade.
U.S. grade, U.S. made. It works pretty good. Another reason why I also went with Skag is, again, not only the fact that you can order parts here, but everything comes with greasable like spindles and stuff like that as far as the blades, and those are components that you use a lot more often. I used to have, and no hate on this brand whatsoever, but a Wright Stander. What I didn't like about the Wright is sometimes you would have to overseas the parts, and that's what I didn't like. And for that, it made it very, very hard because you'd be sitting there waiting for a pulley to come in for a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And not only that, right when COVID happened, to get parts here readily available, it was so bad. And so the Skags, I've had them since 2020, right pre-COVID, right as it was happening. I remember I picked them up in around March, April. I have yet to replace a pulley or a spindle on the Skags. And they have 1,500 hours on them.
Good.
And as long as you grease those things up, you'll be fine. Before you start hearing the screeching, if you're already hearing screeching and stuff, your bearings are rotten.
Yeah.
But before you do all that,
are those more expensive than Wrights? Or no?
Yes, they typically are. I want to say anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000, a little more expensive, especially with all the inflation that we've been getting recently. They've been expensive. I have, again, nothing bad to say about the Wrights. They treated me very, very well for the time that I had them. I just didn't like that wait. You know, whenever I did have to wait. They did very well with the small residential lots. They don't make the Stander that they used to. Now they have what they call the Stander B, which when you look at the Stander B and you look at the Skag, it has very, very similar I guess build qualities, attributes and stuff like that with how you can, floating decks and stuff. I've never had an issue with any of my floating decks, but I did with the Wrights. And now you have the Exmark brand.
Like what do you mean, like uneven cuts or something?
Yep, uneven cuts. And sometimes you go to blame that on your blades. You go to blame that, on a
terrain or something. The
terrain, maybe one of your tires is a little bit lower. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of variables that go with that, but when it came down to it, I guess the way it was engineered, something, dude, it was always a hassle after about the first year, maybe after about 300-400 hours.
You always figured out something. I was like, oh, this could have been better, or like manufactured better.
With Skag, it's been very different. I mean, I've gone to the point to where I'm not even paying attention. I'm trying to take a picture of the property or something as I'm on the way out with the Skag, and I'll crash into the post on the gate. Won't break the post, but you'll smack the deck real hard, and it's fine. It cuts perfectly fine. Other than that, Exmark has one too. I think it's the Exmark Vertex, or the stand-on. That one does very, very well. But yes, they still have some sort of pinpoints. It's not just at least the ones that I've seen, it's not just a lever to pick up the deck and then you set it to your height, you drop the lever. You have to go, there's 4 different levers. So you have to pick it up from one side, remove a pin, drop it, A, B, and C, and then go to the back.
That's time consuming.
Yep, very time consuming. So again, just depends on what dealer. If Exmark is the only dealer that you guys have near, hey, that might be your best bet.
Yeah.
Right, and then going from there. If not, definitely look for something. Hey, maybe it's worth driving, an hour further or something. And the parts that are replaceable always have at least 1 or 2 on hand. So if the belts, if you know that you have a specific pulley that goes out here and there.
I know you do all the time. You have not like you have those pulleys go all the time.
Yeah,
I'm saying like you always have extra parts, at least one thing.
Oh, for sure. I definitely have always on deck is one belt that spins the hydraulics, because they are hydraulically driven pumps, to be able to go forward, backwards, reverse, whatever the whole nine. And then the deck belt. So deck belts, luckily, fingers crossed, I haven't had any pop recently, at least within the last year and a half or so. We also haven't been doing as many properties, but the hydraulic ones as well. I haven't had any one of those pop in at least, I think, 2 years. So it's been really good. Little trick out there, that I don't think a lot of people know, but you can find the belts at Tractor Supply, and they're way cheaper than the dealer.
For real?
And they're made out of the same Kevlar material.
Dang.
So that's one thing for me that I learned.
For the Skag?
Yep, for the Skag. For all of them, the Skag, the John Deere, Exmark, because the belts go by thickness and by length.
By length, yeah.
So as long as you can
find the same one that'll fit through the pulleys.
When you go to the dealer, they're going to give you a part number. And now with the way that you have artificial intelligence and everything helping you out, you can literally type that into a Google search and it'll generate, or it'll populate, hey, this is all the places technically near you that you can either order it online or go and buy it. First few that are going to pop up is Amazon. right? So as long as you can go in there and kind of verify the part number, you can go into the specs on Amazon and it'll tell you the thickness and the length. Once you have that,
As long as it's the same thing.
as long as it's the same thing, you can go to your typical Tractor Supply and end up saving, in some cases, almost 50%.
Dang. That's
So
crazy.
yeah, so it gets good. But yeah, that's really the main reason why, I did end up going with Skag, because I'm able to find parts here. I'm able to go to usual Tractor Supply, in case for whatever reason I don't have a belt. I'm out and about. Hey, is there, in the country, is there any Tractor Supply near me, or is there any, any Skag dealer near me? If either one of those are there, I'm there. And
What about like because obviously in your lawn care business you have to use weed eaters, blowers, edgers, all those type of deals. Like, you have a specific brand to use, or you just kind of?
Yeah, for the blowers, I like Steel. I have never had an issue with Steel blowers. They last very, very long, and the power that they have is amazing.
Is there any specific one you would recommend?
If you're starting out, the BR600 is going to do anything that you would necessarily need it to do, from blowing off bigger driveways. It's light. It's a little
Is it a handheld one, or is it a backpack?
No, it's a backpack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the handheld ones, I haven't really tried the Steels. I've always
Honestly,
tried
from using handheld ones, which are cool and all, don't get me wrong, but like when I had my landscaping business, I hated doing the hand thing. Like, it was cool, but like after, because I was obviously a one-man show most of the time, so like after I had weed eat and everything, bro, my arms already dead.
Yeah, your
and
arms
I was
are
like trying to do this. Like, I would definitely recommend
the speed.
that, and like just the time and the effort that you have to put into just having it on your back is way better.
Yeah, the speed of it is a huge variable that you can be able to go in. Hey, you can walk up along one side of the driveway, start blowing, and by the time you're at the end of the driveway, you've already blown all the clippings off the other side. So
exactly.
It's obviously, this is catering to a normal 2-car driveway.
Yeah.
If you have 3-4-car driveways, then you might have
definitely has a lot more power.
Yeah,
though.
more power. So that also too, for a lot of the landscape companies that do gutter cleaning, the 600 is light enough to where you can climb on. Again, this is if the roof isn't as steep, but you can climb up there and blow the gutters out, instead of going in there and hand picking them, right? Or a lot of people make a contraption out of PVC pipe, and so they'll just be on the ground and they'll have like a 10-foot extension up into
Oh, they kind of look like that.
Yep, and then they'll put
Like a 90 or something?
a 90 elbow, like 2 90s on the end, connected to each other to make a U.
Yeah.
And then they'll just kind of and just make sure you're wearing safety glasses, because that stuff falls directly on you. But yeah, that for a blower. For the weed eaters, I use Echo. Those are the ones that I've had the most luck with. The
225?
2620. The 225 is very good to start.
That's what I had.
225.
I had like, I don't know, 2 or 3 225s.
Yep, the 225s, those are very good to start. Now they have the 225T, which is the torque head. So it's the same power head, but the gears on the head are a little bit different. So there's a little bit more like forward weight to it, right? As far as like obviously on the head with everything that spins, but it spins way faster. It spins faster, and like you can actually hit some decent sized edges and you'll just feel it. I mean, it won't even like bog down.
Dang.
If you want to upgrade from there, the Echo 2620, the X series are the commercial series. They also come up with the torque head, so if you would like that as well. I don't really see too much of a major difference in those, like, because obviously the motor, is able to compensate for that. But you do notice that in the edging. If you're doing just normal,
Like where it's grabbing the ground.
Yeah. Yep. Where it's grabbing the ground, you can some of them, they have enough power to where you can hold it with one hand doing the edging, and it spins so hard that it just picks itself up.
Golly.
So you're able to that's it has way more torque than a normal one. A normal one, if it starts getting weaker, I mean, you may need to hold it with a second hand, because it's just kind of like, hitting the ground and it's not really doing it. But the other ones, I mean, if they're brand new, you hold it full throttle and it's spinning so hard that it'll just kind of pick itself up. Like
crazy.
It's gone good. But yeah, for weed eaters, Echo. Red Max weed eaters are also very, very well. Red Max. Red Max looks good. They're red weed eaters.
I've never heard of Red Max.
Yeah, they also do blowers. Their blowers are insane. Their blowers, I mean, if you're, depending on how big you are, right? But if you're, small and scrawny, about 100 pounds, I'm pretty sure you can put 2 blowers right next to you, one on your chest and then one on your back. Face them towards the ground, and it'll kind of pick you up. Yeah, it'll push you. There's videos of people who they go and they start blowing. And
where do you get the Red Max from, though? Because I've never.
We have dealers here in Katy.
But like you have to get specific from a Redimac dealer. Like, cause I've never seen them like Home Depot or Lowe's.
You're not going to see those at Home Depot.
That's more a commercial.
Yeah,
type
Echo.
of deal.
You're probably not even going to see like a steel at a Home Depot. You'll see them at like Ace Hardware, but you're not going to see them at. You're not going to see them at a you know, a Lowe's, or not even Lowe's. Lowe's only has deals with Craftsman.
You
know, probably even Ryobi maybe.
Maybe Ryobi.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, Husqvarna
really
makes one.
The Husqvarna does. They make blowers as well. Ooh, now that you say that, Husqvarna has a one small backpack blower. I don't know the model number, but I used to have one. And what I liked about it is that it was so small and compact and light. It was a 2-piece nozzle, or like the blower dang-a-lang, whatever you want to call it. I loved it because I can take it off. I can take about a foot off of it, 1.5 feet, and then go behind the flower beds and blow them out. And so instead of me standing up and me pointing down at the ground and the tip of the blower being so close to the mulch, it's blowing everything up.
Yeah, you can take it off.
You can take it off, and it'll spread out. Yep, it'll spread out even more. So you're just getting the top leaves that are in the flower bed. I can always do that with my steel. The only issue with that one is
you're probably gonna be far or something.
You have to be far, but it's so bulky because I have the BR800, which is the real big one.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get in between like
the bushes,
bigger bushes in the house. And then at that point, you're messing with, if they have a window there, you don't want to scratch the window or lightly tap it.
Yeah.
Or if that exhaust heat, is just, you're running real hot, you could potentially crack it on, some certain section. So there's a lot of liabilities that go with that. If you're starting out, the BR600 is going to do everything. Again, the further you are away from something, the less power it's going to have to blow, even though you're holding a full throttle, without you necessarily having to blow up all the mulch.
Mm-hmm. But I was going to say, which one's the one that has the side pole? Is that steel or the Echo?
That's the steel.
Is it steel?
Yeah, it's the same BR800, but I think there's another letter after that, or another letter before.
Something.
But yeah, it's a side start. So it's super easy. You seen it on Grow We Mow It?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He talks about it.
Yep. So that one, it's very, very easy. A lot of people love that one. I've had this case. I had this case today where I'm blowing, customer comes out, hey, how you doing? This and that. So I got to take off the blower, turn it off, put it on the ground, talk to the customer, see whatever the case is that they want. Luckily, this one, they wanted an estimate on some trimming. So I was like, okay, boom.
Boom, tras, tras.
Boom, tras, tras. We were able to get that taken care of. But the fact that now I have to start it, put it back on my back. Yep. And so it's like, yes, to some people it's like, okay, well, hey,
it's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal. Just do it.
Yeah.
But the productivity of being able to just keep it on your back and just whack, and boom, it saves you after a month of having to take it off, put it back on and everything. It's gonna save you some time. So yeah, I think lastly for the equipment for my side of things, trailers. You can always get the trailer at Tractor Supply. You don't have to start off with a massive 14-foot landscape trailer, any of that.
Yeah, with the sides and all that stuff.
If you're savvy enough to where you can weld. A lot of people, take that class in high school and stuff like that. Maybe some people don't know how to weld. Maybe you can find somebody on Facebook Marketplace. I
remember I started with just regular utility trailer.
Yeah, for me, I started with the normal one from Tractor Supply, the one that has a little donut tire, like the tires on the boat.
Oh yeah.
But like the bigger ones, not the real small ones, like the more medium-sized ones. Yeah, I started with the trailer like that. I think the axle was only like a 500-600 pound axle, so it's super light. I started off with that. I put plywood on the sides of it, and then I put wood on the inside of the trailer to make my racks for the weed eaters. And so I had racks, I had everything, backpack cage, blower cage, I had the whole nine.
That's crazy.
So I was doing good. I could pull that thing with my 4-wheeler. Then eventually you upgrade to the normal 10x5, and that feels like so big for the first few days.
Yeah.
And then now, luckily we have a 14.
Would you recommend a specific size when they first start off? Like, because obviously, like how big is big enough to where you can fit like a zero turn and a regular either?
I think that goes back to you knowing where do you want to start. Do you want to start in residential? Do you want to start commercial? Commercial is always going to take more money up front to start because you need bigger equipment, you need bigger trailers, bigger trucks, and everything. If you start off residential, your normal 5x9, 5x8, 5x10 trailer is going to be perfect. If you are able to get a 5x10 trailer, that's going to last you way longer in the long run.
Yeah, like if you were to buy one trailer and you start off, like
if I were to buy,
trailer,
it'd be 100%. It'd be the 5.5. We have a dealer here. It's a little bit of a drive, but it's in Porter. They sell a 5.5 by 10 foot, and it's really like 10.4 or something. It's like 4-inch difference, but it's perfect. Comes with a 3,500 pound axle, comes with 2-foot sidewalls already, right? So you're able to pick up debris in that trailer, you're able to remove mulch in that trailer, you're able to do all kinds of stuff. And if you have a good buddy that can weld for you, or you're able to find somebody that can weld, hey, what if I go buy the material, or how much would you charge me to make some racks or make some blower racks and stuff like that? If you are able to buy a full built out landscape trailer like that, then go ahead and get that, right? At that point. But 5x10, perfect one to start. That's going to get you. Oh, dude, that's going to last you so long. And even if you want to start another crew, you can even use that same trailer. Maybe you park it to the side because you're getting a little bit bigger. But hey, you want to start a different division, you want to start a different crew, go back to that one, and you can always. That's one that I would, if I were to have to start over, I would get that.
Yeah, instead of getting a small one and like having an upgrade to get a longer one.
Yep, the one that I just sold to Austin, dude. That one was.
What size was that?
It was a 5x10.
It was. Oh dang.
5x10. I built everything for it. I built the blower racks, weed eater racks. I put a new gate on it with some real thick, heavy steel, expanded metal. Yeah. That way, as I'm unloading and loading the motor,
it's not warping the freaking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, other than that, dude, I mean, that's about it for me. It's as long as you got something to pull it, you don't have to have a truck.
Well, that's actually speaking about that, like something to pull it. Whenever I had my business, I had a Trailblazer SUV, and I think my trailer was a 10-foot trailer.
Yeah,
because I knew I could fit the zero turn. It might have been 8 foot, I don't know, but it was somewhere around there because I could fit the zero turn and I could fit a push mower behind it. Normally, I would load up which is probably not the best part or the best idea, but I would normally put the push mower in the front with everything and then put the zero turn behind it.
Well, when you have a trailer that's so short like that, it didn't
have any sidewalls though. Yeah. So like I try to make sure everything was there, and then I kind of use the zero turn. Obviously, it would have this parking brake on, and that way it wouldn't roll back and forth.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, whenever you have something so small, it sits on top of the axle, so you don't really necessarily need to mess with the weight that much.
Yeah. It's not that heavy either.
Yeah, it's not that heavy. So
and then sometimes I put it's actually crazy. I put like sometimes, if not all the time, I would put the weed eaters and the blowers and stuff in the truck.
The Trailblazer.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if you think about it, that's the best way to do it, because in the back of the truck, that stuff can get stolen. It's happened to me.
That's why I did it. Honestly.
So it's like, hey, like you put that in there.
I didn't have racks.
Yeah, you can go over there. You can weed it. Now, don't get me wrong. You might hop in your car. You might smell a little bit of gas.
Oh yeah, all
fumes.
the time.
Or exhaust fumes. But hey, that comes part with it. A little bit of grass might go in there. So. Yeah. Just you can pull it with a Toyota Corolla for all they, as long as you have a tow hitch on it and you have the hustle, you're gonna do it. Then you can eventually upgrade to a smaller truck, like a little Ranger or something along the cheaper side. Nowadays, they have enough horsepower to where you can probably put a 12-foot trailer on it. So yeah, it just depends on what your budget is, what you want to start with. But what do you think about you? Coming gangs for life or what?
Yeah, pretty much. I guess for me, it's pretty easy, honestly. I obviously had the 2009 Ram 2500 that was gifted from my parents, and I already knew how to work on the Cummins because it was pretty easy. My dad showed me a lot of things with it, and so one of the reasons why I went with a Ram or Cummins was because I was already familiar with it. The ability to work on it, the space that it has in the engine bay is a lot better than, for say, like the Power Stroke Fords.
100% true.
There is no room in the engine bay.
There's nothing. You have to take the whole cab off to work.
Literally. And so I remember sometimes when I was working on my truck, like I could literally sit on top, like where, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, but the top panel where like the headlights are at, I'd be able to sit in there and sometimes have my foot like
in the motor bay.
Yeah, exactly. In the engine compartment.
Yeah.
And it'd just be chilling. Now, don't get me wrong, it would hurt my butt,
Yeah, I mean, eventually.
Sitting on that freaking metal like that, and you got a couple bolts sticking up. Yeah.
But, or the little rubber pieces that hold the, what's it called, the hood up? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, those things. Yeah,
those two. But, so mainly the main reason why I went with Cummins was for that reason. I've always loved them. Never had any issues with them. Obviously, transmissions was one of the deals that I had to deal with the 09. And so that was never fun. However, it eventually went out, but that's because of me. I was doing dumb things with it, and obviously when you do dumb things happen. So I had to replace the transmission at like 290,000, somewhere around there, which is pretty good if you ask me, because it was tuned and deleted and everything. But yeah, main reason why I chose Ram was for that reason. The workability on it is super easy, and I was already familiar with it. I did my own changes and stuff like that. Now, obviously, I don't do that. I take it just for warranty reasons, right?
Yeah.
But so that's why I chose Cummins. Now, obviously, the new ones have the 8-speed transmission, and that thing tows so much different than the 6-speed.
That thing rips.
So, so there's that. When I first started, obviously, I had the Lone Star trailer, which you remember. You remember working on it a lot with me. That was a 14,000 GVWR trailer, so it had two 7K axles on it. It was a nice trailer. It worked, but in all reality, like for people that are going out and starting the dumpster industry, trailers are good to start with, but in reality, they are not made for the beating that we put them through. So definitely, like, keep that in consideration if you guys want to get into the business. Like, know that stuff's going to break a lot, and as much as we put it through, it feels like it happens every single day.
Yeah, but on an everyday use though as well. I mean, you're running that thing. How many dumpsters would you say you were picking up on and dropping off on a daily basis?
I was probably touching like 3 to 4 dumpsters a day. You know, whether I'm dropping them off or picking them up. Yeah, it's a lot of wear and tear. Putting 300 miles on it every day.
300 miles with weight.
Exactly, with weight. So there's obviously better options out there, like trucks designed for that reason. Because they have dualies, big trucks, big actual thick frames to hold the weight.
Yeah.
Unlike the trailer systems. But yeah, I started off with the Lone Star trailer, had to do numerous of welds on, looked like every weld that Lone Star did or whoever the manufacturer was. And had to add little like brackets and pieces of plates to beef it up. So, and even we actually cut off the, whenever the axles broke, which I know I have a video on my TikTok and maybe on YouTube, I don't know. But I was like, I don't want to have to deal with this again. And the square tubing that goes across the frame from like each side to the other side, or one side to the other side, we cut that off, and it was a pretty thin square tubing, and I think we put like a
1/4-inch thick.
It was 1/4-inch, right?
Yeah,
it was big.
Yeah, it was definitely 1/4-inch thick, but that's
the 5-inch instead of a
5-inch.
The other one was a 4-inch, I think. The original one was smaller.
4-inch.
So what we did is I cut that off, and I was like, I might as well, if I'm going to work on it, I might as well redo the whole thing. So I cut off the square tubing, put a 5-inch, 1/4-inch square tubing, super thick, and I raised it up so where I have a better dump angle, because these manufacturers, I don't know if it's because they don't want it to be like high off the ground. I don't know, for like load reasons. They want it maybe be like lower to the ground, but the dump angle sucks.
Yeah, it's bad. And mind you, this as well, whenever he did that, this wasn't one of the, like, I guess, cross members in between, both of the I-beams and the frame that was, in the front or that holds the joist up, nothing. This is the one that takes the most amount of beating when you're lifting up the trailer.
Where the hinge points are at.
Yep,
like, that's
right on the hinge points. That was probably one of the...
And that's why I changed it, because the welds that were welded to the hinge point and the cross member, it was cracking all the way around. And then finally one basically was like gave out, and it wasn't even like that heavy of a dumpster. Obviously it's probably just from like wear and tear eventually, but I was like, dude, I can't do this. Yep. So we beefed it up, and we basically like bulletproof that trailer. So
yeah, it's still out running today, and it's been, that thing was dumping so good after we put the 5-inch lift on.
I remember I was like, it's not even all the way like up, and it's already dumping out.
No, it was about a 5-inch lift on it basically.
It was, we lifted the whole thing up. We basically welded that cross member to the top of the frame instead of it being centered. So and I think we MIG welded it, and we have like welds like that wide.
Oh yeah, those were some
there's like
fat welds.
I know there's one in, obviously the main one, and then we probably did 2, maybe 3 passes on top of that, and then I did one huge like figure 8.
I think it was we definitely did about 5 passes total on each one, besides the one strip of weld that the dealer does.
Yeah.
So, 1 on both sides of that, and then 3 on top of that whole thing. And then this guy was over just like, let's just use the wire that we have.
Exactly. Might as well. So that's for the Lone Star one. Now we have ARC trailers, which I was talking highly about them. And I'm not saying they're bad trailers, but that's what I'm trying to say is like these trailers are not really made for what we do. And like the amount of work we put them through, like and I know that, you know, but luckily I know how to weld and fix things.
No, yeah, you know that, but I think it also depends on, like I was mentioning for me, on what you start off with and what rail system you choose. Don't you think for yours?
Yeah, that too. Obviously, I have the 60-inch rails. The other ones are like Texas Pride or 47s. There are some that are 36, like the standard rail. I don't know how those are. I mean, I've heard the Texas Pride ones are not that great. Like the welds are also the same thing, but it could be from just somebody using it a lot and realizing like these trailers are not that good.
Yeah.
So they are cheaper. I think I paid like $22,000 for the ARC trailers. Obviously, that's with like the tarp system and all the extra stuff, right? But yeah. So I chose the ARC trailer this time because it had two 10K axles, and not that obviously we put that much weight on them, but my thought process was
stability.
Yeah, exactly. I would rather use something that has higher rated axles and only carry 2 tons, 3 tons.
Yep.
Or when I know like this trailer's not straining at all whatsoever. So I was thinking like, oh, longevity is going to be good. And I realized the bulletproofing that we did on the Lone Star, they actually implemented that to the ARC. And so where those hinge points are at, there's bigger plates on there as well, on top of the square tubing. And I'm like, see, like now they're starting to engineer these things. Like this is a problem, and I guess this is how they're solving it. Yeah. Yep. So that was one of the reasons why I went with the ARC trailer. They're all like cookie cutter trailers. So I know there's a Lone Star trailer that looks the exact same, if not is the exact same as the ARC. It just has a different name on it. But they're all basically the same, you know. But I don't know. They're great, but I think they could be. I say better.
Could be better.
However, I mean, you might as well go and get an actual dumpster truck for that.
Yeah, it like, you know, like I was mentioning, bro, I think it really depends on what you want to start and how you want to start off with. What's your budget? You know, for some people, they may already have a truck. All they need is a trailer and 3 dumpsters. Same setup that you can buy.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to start it as a side hustle, and that's what I did. So when I was doing it, I was like, well, I want the cheapest, you know, and cheapest doesn't always get you the best.
Cheapest to start. Yeah, it doesn't get you the best. If you do want to say, hey, you know, I have a good chunk of change to make an investment and start this off, like, hey, I want to leave my job and go full time
into it.
Definitely think about it. And the railing system, like I was mentioning, because there's 2 different railing systems for you, and that's really about much as you can choose, unless you go into the big trucks. Now you're talking about hook lifts, you're talking about cable pulls.
Which don't get me wrong, those are a lot more expensive, but like longevity, I know we always say it, but it's the buy one, cry once deal.
Yep.
Buy something that's going to last you forever, and instead of like buying what I bought, because now I had 3 trailers. At 3 trailers at $20-something thousand, that's $60,000-$70,000. I mean, you could buy a used dumpster truck. Yeah, used truck. You know, not 2. Sometimes there's like crazy deals for them. And they'll probably last you a little longer than what we have. But to each their own, obviously. But other than that, I mean, that's all the equipment. Oh, well, actually, Kubota. Let me go on that because I forgot about that.
Well, I had a little question before you go into the Kubota. What about containers? What do you recommend with containers?
I don't know why I forgot about that.
Going in, would you recommend buying the same brand as a trailer? Saying, you know, what?
Right. That's a great question. So when I did buy the Lone Star, I bought it with 3 bins. And over time, which I say this again, me and you put a lot of freaking work into fixing those stupid dumpsters. And what happened was over time, I didn't realize that the bins, the walls, they're not, when they come down like this to the floor, they're not welded all the way around. They're tack welds, which is honestly so stupid because that's where all the bearing weight is at. So when you go pick up a dumpster, you know, let's just say like this is the trailer. Well, once it starts lifting up, it starts like this is the trailer, the rails, whatever. It starts flexing, and basically it'll start bending like that. And I went one day to pick up, it was concrete, and it was probably maybe 5-6 yards of concrete, and a lot of the broken concrete was coming out on the side. I was like, oh, that's not good. I was looking at it, it was just falling out. And I was like, yeah, this is not okay. So gratefully, I was able to pick it up, take it. But I think right after that, I was like, yeah, we got to fix this, bro. And we did what the manufacturer should have done and welded all the way around. So I personally wouldn't recommend buying the Lone Star or the ones that come from the big trailer dealerships. However, we use Box Gang. Box Gang is a company out here in Houston. Everything that is there and welded, it's welded all the way around. Like, quality is definitely there. Don't get me wrong. Is there things that I sometimes feel like should be a little different? Yes, but nothing's perfect. Every dealership has different. I have some Keystone boxes as well. Keystone is like from Dallas, Fort Worth area.
What do you think is have you seen any major difference between Keystone manufacturing and Box Gang manufacturing?
Yeah, honestly, they're both great bins, and if there's someone to give any advice about the both of them is me, because I use and abuse them really bad. And the Keystone, I feel like, is a little thinner. I can definitely tell the flooring of the Keystone isn't as like high quality or durable. I believe Keystone might be also a little cheaper. Now, granted, you could probably like change the gauges of what you want the flooring and the walls to be and stuff like that. But yes, they're both great. They both have their pros and cons. I think Box Gang's a little better quality, and there probably are a little more, but in this industry, you want something that's high quality. Mm-hmm. So, and last thing, obviously, would be the skid steers that I have. The reason why I chose Kubota, like you said, dealer. Like, if you have dealer support, they're probably like 10, 15 minutes away. Dealer support, they've been great. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've had our, hiccups and whatnot.
You have your ups and downs, but I feel like in the end, it was great. You're not having to drive 4 or 5 hours to just try to go get some help.
Well, there's a Bobcat dealership right down the road, and this just service and like the hospitality there, I didn't like, and so that was one of the great things that I liked about Kubota Ewald here in Rosenberg, is they took care of me. They treat me like I was actually a human and not just somebody that was always just looking around. But yeah, I haven't had any issues with it. Power's there. The controls on it are really nice. It's a hydraulic over hydraulic, so you don't have to worry about having any delays in the joysticks. What else? There's a lot more features to it, but besides that, I mean, I love the door, how you can just fold it up. I can work with the door open, work with it closed. And
AC and heat.
Exactly, AC and heat. And another thing too, actually probably the biggest selling point, I went to look at John Deere. They're super strong. Don't get me wrong. They're super strong. They can go and pick up a lot of stuff. But what they don't show you in like the demonstrations and whatnot is try to pick it up and turn. It's not going to work because their valve systems, the way they have it lined, it's not great for that. Whereas the Kubota, I can pick it up, turn, and it won't bog. With the John Deere, I can go and pick it up and turn, and it's going to bog down, maybe turn off, because it's trying to do two things at once. So that's probably the biggest selling point about the Kubota and why I chose that. So, but other than that, I mean, that's really about all the equipment that.
What size Kubota would you start off with if you were to go and get that?
I think the 75. I think 75? What I started off, the 75 was like, it's the highest horsepower rated you can get without having DEF, DEF, what do you want to call it? And so I've never had any issues with it, especially, and also make sure you get high flow. I mean, obviously, people have different uses for them. Mm-hmm. If you're just doing dirt work, okay, you don't need high flow, right? But if you're going to have attachments and you're doing concrete breaking, if you're doing land clearing, shredding, stuff like that, high flow is definitely the way to go. I wouldn't get anything else. So, yeah. And if you live in the Houston area or somewhere where it's hot, definitely get AC.
Oh, for sure. I've had the ability to be able to rent them out from you, and the fact that we have AC, I love that. That's the best.
And the nice thing about the 75 is it has a cup holder right next to the AC vent. That's actually my best feature about it.
Oh, that keeps your drink.
Yes,
semi-cool.
Dude, yes, you put the freaking your drink right. It's right here too. So normally it blows on your neck, but I put my drink right there in the cup holder. Turn the AC up all the way. It'll keep my drink cold all day. The 97 doesn't have that, unfortunately, but it's okay.
You sure?
It has a cubby like that instead of a cup holder.
Oh, I haven't even paid attention.
It's flat.
That. Well, I also, because I've used the cup holder that's, I guess, down here.
Yeah.
But what I don't like about the 97 one, though, is that you hit a bump and your water bottle's on the ground. It's just kind of like...
Oh, yeah. Well, it's stupid how they have it, engineered.
Yeah. Yeah. It's made for bigger cups, but then again, too, you deal with the.
And it's not. I don't even think it's all the way around like this. It's kind of
No, it's around and then it curves down and then it goes down again.
And so it makes it easy to fall like this.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. But other than that, that's really the only equipment that I have. Those are the reasons why I chose what I have. So again, you can decipher what you want, learn from us, or just be dumb like us and do the same things we did.
Learn from us or be dumb and like us, and also go and look at the shiny shit and be like, oh,
exactly.
Hey, we want that.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
But no, I think, I mean, what do you think, bro? That's a good way to wrap it up for the starters.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, guys, this little short episode, like we mentioned at the beginning. Hope you guys had a good week. Hope you guys are doing well. Keep grinding, keep hustling. And we will see you guys on the next one.
Yep. See ya.